Hi there, my name is Bob Siebehar. I am a sport dietitian, exercise physiologist, strength and conditioning specialist, and endurance coach. If you don't know me, I am also the creator of the nutrition periodization concept and the metabolic efficiency training concept. So here's a fun fact. It has been 21 years since I first spoke publicly about my metabolic efficiency training concept. 21 years. So in 2003, I gave my first public presentation to a group of my peers, fellow sport dietitians, about metabolic efficiency training. So that was back in 2003. Then I really started to develop the concept. I created the physiological test for it. I started testing athletes, really putting a lot of athletes through the ringer, if you will, and used myself as a guinea pig. And around 2006 is when I really started to take it mainstream and use it in my practice with athletes. And what I was finding was some significant improvements in performance, but also health. So about 2007, 2008, I had a great idea. Hey, why don't I write a book? So in 2009, I published my first metabolic efficiency training book. This is 2009, right? Very thin copy, by the way. All right, 2009 to 2014, 5 years elapsed. I gained a whole bunch of relevant real life information, testing athletes, working with athletes, fine-tuning a lot of my nutrition strategies that I use for metabolic efficiency training. And then I decided, you know what, I've got such great information. I have to update this. I have to get the word out to as many athletes and practitioners as possible. So in 2014, I published my second edition, Metabolic Efficiency Training. A little thicker, right? Because I had more information. So that was great. That has actually stood the test of time for quite a while, right? And I loved it because I was getting such positive feedback from my fellow sport dietitians, endurance coaches, athletes of all different types. And they're like, hey, this really works. This non-diet approach is super helpful. Like I've improved my health, I've improved my energy level, I've improved my athletic performance and recovery, improved my longevity. I feel better. This is great. So I didn't really feel the need to continue updating, except I'm the person that always challenges the norm. So when I say I didn't really feel the need to update, I was still updating in real life. Every athlete that I've worked with, I continue to kind of push that envelope, right? I'm always the person asking why, but I never, from 2014 to about 2019, I didn't have a lot of information that was necessarily updated on the concept. But right around 2019, 2020, I started delving a little bit more into the research about nutrition, biochemistry, exercise physiology, all these great things. And I started trying different strategies on athletes. And I was noticing some different things were happening based on maybe age group, based on gender, based on their athletic endeavors or their level of competitiveness. So I'm happy to announce 10 years later, I have introduced and published the third edition of my metabolic efficiency training book. It's a little thicker because I have added so much great content to this. Not only have I added updated information on how to use the 5 nutrition strategies that you can choose from to improve your body's ability to use fat as energy better, right? So I've made it more simple, right? This is not a diet. This is a lifestyle plan, but I've made it much more simple. But let me just open this book and let me just read to you a few of the things that I have added from the table of contents. So the first thing, the first significant thing is I've added an entire nutrition timing or nutrient timing strategy chapter, a whole chapter based on what you should consume before, during, and after exercise and different types of exercise. So interestingly enough, you may not have known this, there are 2 different nutrient timing strategies. Not many people know that. Most people know just what the media tells us and what research spits out, right? There are actually 2, and I'm going to specify those. I'm going to teach you about those and teach you how to use them in that chapter. The second significant thing is I changed and updated all the case studies. These are all brand new case studies on different types of people, different gender, different ages, different sports, okay? The benefit of case studies is seeing how others implement different nutrition strategies to see success. Now, granted, those are N of 1 case studies, but it will give you a good idea how others are using a lifestyle nutrition plan, a non-diet approach to improve their health, their longevity, and their athletic performance. And then the last one, so proud of this one, an entire chapter on special topics as they relate to metabolic efficiency training. So these are the special topics that I have included in this third edition. Plant-based eating. So if you're a plant-based eater, if you're a vegetarian, vegan, plant-based eating, if that's your thing, fantastic. I'm going to teach you how you can actually improve your metabolic efficiency while being plant-based, because not many people know you actually can improve your metabolic efficiency while choosing predominantly plant-based foods. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I'm going to teach you ketogenic diets. How do ketogenic diets fit into the mix of metabolic efficiency training? I'm also going to teach you about intermittent fasting and the different types of intermittent fasting, when and if I'm recommending those in the whole concept of metabolic efficiency training. I'm also going to do a deep dive into the digestive system and gastrointestinal distress, or GI distress. So a lot of you may not know that that was where this concept was born, from my personal struggles with GI distress. So I'm going to actually teach you how to improve the health of your gut and your digestive system. Okay. The next one is training the gut for high carbohydrate absorption. So if you're one of those athletes that just needs to consume a lot of carbohydrates, I get it. They're it's a small population, but those athletes exist. I'm going to teach you the protocols to train your gut to assimilate or absorb a high amount of carbohydrates without destroying your digestive system and having GI distress symptoms. Okay. The next one, I'm going to teach you all about relative energy deficiency in sport. It's commonly referred to as REDS, which is basically a low energy availability. I'm going to teach you the dangers of it and how to avoid it. And the last two, as they relate to metabolic efficiency training, I'm going to teach you how to use metabolic efficiency training in young athletes, because they are not just little adults, right? They need different nutrients, but they can still implement metabolic efficiency training. So parents, be overjoyed about that one. And then the last one is, how do you implement metabolic efficiency training in masters athletes? Because as we get older, more mature, biologically, things happen, right? We know there are differences. And yes, you need to change your nutrition as it relates to the aging continuum. So that's just a snapshot, right? I'm so excited to introduce this to the world. It's been 10 years and I'm so proud of this and I'm so excited. If you would like to pick up your hard copy, head on over to the Energy Performance website. That's enrgperformance.com. That's the only place it's going to be sold right now. There are limited hard copies. So head on over there. You'll see where to purchase the book. And if you have any feedback for me, I love feedback and I love questions. You can simply email me, bob@energyperformance.com. I would love to hear from you. Thanks again, and go pick up your copy.